The kingdom is here, the kingdom is now. The sent ones go to the nations. It has been written, declared in your will. Now the kingdom must be revealed. In these last days, your spirit poured out. It's time to reap the harvest. As we carry your spirit, let glory rise. We will not be defeated.
Freely you gave, so freely we give.
We will establish the kingdom.
You'll be revealed in all the earth.
To them we carry your glory, and we will heal them. We will raise them by your authority, advancing the kingdom. The kingdom is here, the kingdom is now. The sent ones go to the nations. See, it has been written, declared in your will. Now the kingdom must be revealed. In these last days, your spirit poured out. It's time to reap the harvest. As we carry your spirit, let glory rise. We will not be defeated.
Freely you gave, so freely we give.
We will establish the kingdom.
You'll be revealed in all the earth.
To them we carry your glory, and we will heal them. We will raise them by your authority, advancing the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom, thine is the power, all of the glory belongs to you. You've given your power, you've given your glory unto your children.
Advancing the kingdom of God. The kingdom is here, the kingdom is now. The sent ones go to the nations. It has been written, declared in your will. Now the kingdom must be revealed. In these last days, your spirit poured out. It's time to reap the harvest. As we carry your spirit, let glory rise. We will not be defeated.
Freely you gave, so freely we give.
We will establish the kingdom.
You'll be revealed in all the earth.
To them we carry your glory, and we will heal them. We will raise them by your authority, advancing the kingdom. The kingdom is here, the kingdom is now. The sent ones
Welcome to the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. We're streaming live on all social media platforms and podcast streaming channels. Get ready for a revelatory teaching from our apostle, Matthew Tillery.
Well, greetings. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. I am your host tonight, Matt Tillery. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Listen, if you're on social media, Facebook, go ahead and hit the share button. I'm having problems with my privacy. I can't seem to move from friends to the public. But if you can't, well, I guess if you're watching, you're able to see it. But if not, you can go over to the ML Tillery Outreach over on YouTube, and you should be able to pick it up as well. Once again, I am Matt Tillery, Advancing the Kingdom podcast. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing and just being a part of this kingdom conversation. I'm excited about what God is going to do tonight. You know, the Bible declares that, you know, that we are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So we're grateful to be able to get some knowledge, some information out that literally could cause us to live a longer life. So I'm grateful tonight. Listen, on last week, we had a kingdom conversation with Mr. Greg Scott, and we talked about colon cancer, how he went through a routine screening, and they found a cancer in his colon. And because he was able to get that screening, he was able to get a handle on that thing very early. And tonight, in the next 3 weeks, we're going to be diving into some stuff. We're going to be focusing on prostate cancer. Well, Tillery, why are you focusing in on prostate cancer? Very simple. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2022. 2022, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and it was actually caught through the prostate screening. The PSA was moving up and down. We'll talk about more about the PSA. Don't worry about that right now. But listen, I'm excited to have with me tonight as my first guest. I actually have two guests on tonight. So I'm really blessed to have two awesome men tonight that's really that's very knowledgeable, and we'll be sharing some things tonight that I believe will be a benefit to all of us. So tonight, my first guest is none other than Mr. Victor Taylor from New Bern, NC. He's actually a great advocate for men's health with a focus on prostate health and education. Listen, man, I saw you a few days ago, actually. I saw you on TV. You were up there advocating for House Bill 128. So tell us a little about what is NC House Bill 128?
Good question. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for inviting me. I want to thank Will for also inviting me as well. As he said, I'm an advocate for prostate cancer. I'm also a prostate cancer survivor. And last week on the 10th of June, I was at the legislative building in Raleigh, educated myself on House Bill 128. The bill, what I'm going to do today is try to share what I've learned on the House Bill 128. I'm not an expert on the House bill. I've educated myself from others. So I ask you to not just take what I'm saying, make sure you look up House Bill 128 to make sure you're getting the right information. I'm going to give you the right information as I can, but please make sure you pull it up. I'm going to tell you who sponsored the bill. The primary sponsor was Representative Rodney Pierce. He was the first sponsor, the primary sponsor of the bill, and the actual bill, House Bill 128, aims to removing the barriers in testing and raise awareness about prostate cancer. And the short title of that is called Establishing a Statewide Prostate Cancer Control Program. That is House Bill 128.
Wow. So what are some of it says removing some barriers. So what are some of those barriers, I guess, that this bill will be a plus or a benefit to a lot of us? A lot of men will benefit from, if this bill is passed. It would be a great benefit to a lot of men.
It'll be a great benefit because, as you heard, I said statewide, meaning that this bill, if passed, is going to provide assistance, allow men throughout the whole state of North Carolina to get tested. Right now, there's having barriers of transportation issues. The rural areas can't get to the primary hospitals to get tested, and the hospitals not bringing the screening to their areas. So this bill would allow, it's a $2 million general fund that will be going to the Department of Health and Human Services, and it's going to be a reoccurring $2 million. The 25th, 2025 to 2026, as well as 2026 to 2027. This bill will allow people in the rural areas citizens in the rural area to get screened and also have a follow-up if positive with prostate cancer.
Wow. So that's powerful, and because it will also provide low cost or no cost.
Yes, it would. There's certain criteria, but it will be a low cost, like you said, or no cost. It's basically for the uninsured or the underinsured citizens of North Carolina, and there's criteria that you must follow. Again, one main thing is a single parent household income below $37,600. That's one of the criteria. The other criteria are if you're at the age of 50 through 70 without a family history of prostate cancer, or 40 to 70 with a prostate cancer history of your family. So that's some of the criteria that it will benefit.
Wow. Well, it's certainly going to be a great bill, and I believe a lot of men will be blessed, and a lot of lives will be saved.
Yes.
If we, here's the other thing, right? If this bill is passed, then we have to take advantage of it, right?
Yes.
So because it's not going to do us any good if the bill is here and we have access to this stuff, but yet we don't utilize it.
Yes. So, like you said, once it's billed, it should be passed by July the 1st. If it's passed by July the 1st, what I'm reading this said it should be passed by July the 1st. However, if it's not, we're not going to stop there. We're going to keep that on putting the pressure on it. The bill is not dead if it doesn't get passed by July the 1st. You still can have avenues to put pressure on them to see if we can keep making sure this bill is passed. So it's going to benefit the entire state of North Carolina.
Now, you was up in Raleigh being an advocate for this bill. Why is this so important to you? Why is this bill so important to you?
Great question. I love that question. The reason why it's so important to me because I was diagnosed with prostate screening.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for that screening, I don't think I would have been diagnosed or known that I was diagnosed, had a prostate cancer issue. Early detection, as you know, saves lives.
Right.
So early detection, you can survive. So with this bill, a lot of residents in the rural area does not want to travel, and it's a burden and a transportation issue for someone from the rural area to get to a local big city. So this bill will benefit the underserved, uninsured people, and making sure that early detection saves lives. So that screening will make a difference because it made a difference in my life.
Wow. So you not only are you an advocate for the educational piece,
Yes.
but because you have experienced this, you know the importance of getting screened.
Yes.
You know the importance of getting ahead of this thing, right?
Right.
Because it saved your life. You're here talking to me tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So that's very key and critical. Just making sure that we have, if we don't have access to it now,
Right.
when we get that access, but we always, if your life is if you're gonna live 20, 10, 15, 6, 7, 8 years longer, then you're gonna have to do you're gonna have to be your own advocate, and you're gonna have to do what you have to do to make sure that you're getting the screening. Because there are a lot of places that are giving you free screening now.
Right. Like you said, and I'm just going to call it, when it's approved, when the bill passes, the bill is going to be out there. And now it's up to us as our own health advocate to take advantage of that bill. The money is going to be available. We need to go to the doctors, have screening in your community, but we need to utilize that funding, or if not, the funding will go away.
Well, I know you've done a lot of research and education on prostate cancer. Why is it so important for black men, African-American men, to get screened?
It is so important because black men are more susceptible to get prostate cancer than any other race, 2 times more to die from the prostate cancer than any other race. So it's very important because we have family history. A lot of us don't know our family history, but there are a lot of black people that's passed from prostate cancer that we don't know of. So it's very important that we know our history, check our family history, and make sure you get screened, okay? Because early detection, that's what I live by, early detection labor, because that's why I'm here today, because of the early detection. When I was diagnosed, I had no symptoms, nothing going on, and 85% of my prostate was cancerous.
Wow.
Okay, number one, after that, the first thing is to do to pray and make sure you get a second opinion on all things.
Yeah, say that again about a second opinion, because sometimes we get that news, man, and we're so overwhelmed, right? We're so overwhelmed with, particularly with when I got it, the big C.
Yes.
Yeah. I knew something was weird because they told my wife to come back, and they never told my wife to come back there with me. I said, man, something is weird with this, right? Mm-hmm. But, it was mentally, you're trying to absorb all of this cancerous news, right?
Yes.
Because when you heard about the C, the mindset, so you're going to die and this and that, right?
Yeah.
So it can become overwhelming with the news, but even with that, it took me that day, that night. I had a long night, but when I got up, I had to declare out of my mouth, I shall live and not die, right?
Yes.
But I wasn't so spiritual that I'm just quoting scriptures now, right? Mm-hmm. Because we particularly, we quote scriptures, and matter of fact, we had a lady that passed that probably, this is what I believe. I believe that you can do some things or not do some things to aid to your early death, right?
Yes.
I mean, so even with our eating,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a lot of things that we can change our habits and have a longer life, right?
Yes.
So I encourage you. I said, you need to go to the doctor, ma'am. I know. I'm praying with you. I'm believing God for you. I'm believing that God is going to heal you. I said, but you still need to go to a doctor. And she never went, and it just started getting worse, right? Yeah. I mean, if you don't do anything.
That's. I was talking to an individual yesterday, and I was using the scenario of a vehicle versus a body. Okay, a vehicle versus a body, a car. The car gonna give you warnings when something's going wrong.
Right.
Your body doing the same thing.
Wow.
You just need to pay attention to your body. If it starts giving you problems on something, whether it's your stomach, your back, your leg, make sure you be your own health advocate and go get help. Go get checked out. Get screened. Okay. Please make sure you listen to your body, and that's what I've always tried to instill. Listen to your body. Because I got a saying, and we all here probably had the same saying. They said, nag them to death. We want to nag them to the doctor.
Amen.
Nag them to the doctor. Get them to the doctor. If it's not for them, it's for the grandchildren. It's for you. Get them to the doctor by any means necessary.
Wow, powerful. Amen. Get them to the doctor by any means necessary. So that those are I have a lot of conversations with men, and particularly since I was diagnosed, been doing a lot of health education stuff and just getting the news out about early detection, because that's very critical. I wasn't having any symptoms whatsoever, none. I mean, no symptoms at all. But I would just happen to go and get a regular PSA check, and it literally saved my life.
Yes.
So that's very important. But men, we have a lot of excuses, and we have a lot of thought process of why we're not going to the doctor, and we don't want to deal with the prostate because, if we deal with that prostate, I'm going to have all these other things and all. We're going to talk about that next week too, because the reality of it is, if you die, it ain't going to matter anyway, right?
Not going to matter. I wanted to say one thing there.
I know that's a hard statement.
It's a hard statement,
but it's true.
It's true. That prostate cancer, if caught early, has a 99.5 survival rate.
Wow.
If caught early. So that's why it's so important to get screened. If you have to, please get screened early. Make sure you get screened. African Americans start at the age of 40. All other races start at the age of 45. Family history, age of 40. Family history, African American. There's 3 risk factors, and myself and you, we got 2 for sure. Okay, so if you fall in those risk factors, please make sure you get screened.
Wow. So that House Bill 128 was certainly it would be a tremendous blessing to a lot of men in North Carolina, where they're able to tap in and the resources will be there. But once again, we still have resources now. You have OIC here in great city of Rocky Mount that they're doing some great work. So you have a lot of resources that's already available to you. And I would say this to the men, you know, we're talking about House Bill 128, but I would say this to the men as well, that if you get that, you know, if you get that, you know, the doctor tell you, hey, you have prostate cancer, it's not a death sentence. So it's not a death sentence. You can deal with it. Do your research, do your homework, and I will say this right now on these airways tonight, that if a doctor tell you stay in active surveillance and let's see what happens, I can tell you what's going to happen. So we definitely don't want to be staying in that mode, active surveillance, particularly us. We need to be aggressive with it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's aggressive in us.
When I was diagnosed, I was at the age of 44, and the doctor told me that you have two choices: do something, do nothing. And the big C means, back then, it means the death sentence. So if I'm doing nothing, that's committing suicide.
Right.
Okay, so I told him at that time, no, I'm going to do something. But nowadays, there's have so many different technologies out here, so there's always things that can be done.
Right.
You just got to pursue it. It's not going to fall in your lap on your couch. You have to get up. Second opinion, praying, second opinion. Make sure you get second opinion, because the doctor can have a bad day, the machines can have a bad day, the nurse can have a bad day, or you can just wake up and have a bad day.
Right.
So please.
Yeah, that's powerful. Well, look, man, I'm grateful that you went to the doctor and you did what you needed to do, and because of that, you're here tonight standing talking to Matt Tillery.
Yes.
So that's a blessing. I'm grateful for that.
That's a blessing.
Because so many men don't really adhere to in terms of doing what they need to do. They just they're just gonna wait it out, and keep waiting it out.
Right.
And we have to be aggressive with it, because here's another thing too, Victor, that a lot of research is not done on us. So, a lot of those a lot of research that's done, right? It's not done on us.
Right.
Us meaning black men.
Right. And
African American men.
I was talking about that today. It's not done on us, and we need to get in. We need to be at the table. We need to be at the table. And if I can say, Boone, the main thing, if you take something from what I said, is about talk. Please talk. Talk amongst yourselves. Men talk amongst yourselves. Men talk to your spouses. Men talk to your family. Men, African American, black men do not want to talk when it comes to medical. Okay, so the more you talk, the more you can save in life. It might be your life, it might be someone else's life, but the importance is talk, and talk.
Talk, and talk. And listen, wives, girlfriends, whatever. It's very important that you encourage your uncle, your dad, your brother, your husband, boyfriend, whatever. It's very vital and important that you encourage them to get their PSA checked, because you want them to be around a long time. Listen, man, I'm prayerfully, the Lord spare my life, I'll be 68 in 2 weeks. And I still have a lot of work to do in the kingdom, so I have to make sure that I'm good to go, man. I still have a lot of work to do.
Yes. Yes.
So it's not a death sentence. And look, anything else you want to share about that Bill 128 tonight?
Yes, make sure, again, primary Representative Rodney Pierce, please make sure you pull that bill up to get the heads and ins and out of the entire bill. I shared with you a little bit about the bill, but please make sure you pull up House Bill 128. Hopefully by July the 1st it'll be passed, and we'll move on with the $2 million for 1 year and $2 million the second year.
So it's not just for 1 year, it's for multiple years.
Yes, right now it's for $4 million for reoccurrence from 25 to 26, and then 26 to 27.
Awesome. Well, look, some great things are happening in North Carolina. Hopefully and prayerfully this bill will be passed, so just really open more doors open, and we'll have more accessibility to our health, and making sure that we're taking care of ourselves. Man, I want to make sure I say this. You need to get checked. Get your PSA. We're going to talk about the PSA maybe now or a little later. But next week, we're going to continue this conversation for the next 2 weeks. All right, sir, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. I have another guest, so don't go nowhere. I have another gentleman, awesome guy. He's ready to go. There's a word about prostate and stuff in his mouth, and he's ready to come share. That's none other than Mr. William Battle. Come on down, sir. You're the next contestant.
I always have a way of putting it.
How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm great. I always like to say one of my old professors from college, I'm alive and fully functioning.
All right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Alive and fully functioning.
Alive.
Mr. William Bowler, professor at Bowie State University, president, founder of Emmanuel Health Education, a community-based nonprofit, and he is an advocate also for prostate health and education. Thank you so much again, brother, for coming on.
Thank you, brother Matt.
And,
Thank you, brother Matt.
Love you, man.
Man, love you too, brother.
Love you guys, man.
Man, you ringing my bell when you start talking about the community-based work. That rings my bell.
Tell us about Emmanuel Health.
Well, first, let me thank you, Matt, for inviting me on board. And in addition to that, thank you for just being such a pillar in the community, in terms of opening up what you have here and sharing and providing education and awareness about this, man. And awesome presentation you just had going on there with my brother Victor. Awesome conversation, man. And a lot of stuff out there about that House Bill 128. And I hope that folks kind of take it serious and spend some quality time kind of understanding that thing, man, because education is key. So, I'm president and founder of Emmanuel Health Education Incorporated. We've been around, I guess about maybe 10, 12 years. We started in Prince George's County, and we are a community-based organization that provides an array of health messages for men. And of course, we have a specific focus on prostate cancer. And we were really blessed enough in 2020 to get permission by the IRS to operate as a nonprofit in the state of North Carolina. So now we operate in 2 states.
Oh, wow.
North Carolina and in Maryland, and we do equally amount of work in both states. Of course, it can be quite a handful, man, trying to get work done in both states. But by the same token, hey, man, it's about the cause. Yeah. And ironically, when we looked at data in Maryland as well as North Carolina, the data revealed to us that the issues of prostate cancer were very similar.
Wow.
In both states. And of course, I'm working in Bowie, living in Bowie in Maryland at the university, but I'm born and raised right here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And when I got wind of the issue of prostate cancer here, equally to the amount of prostate cancer incidence and mortality in Maryland, I was just so compelled, to be on board with engaging this work down in North Carolina. Of course, COVID came on board around 2019, and it kind of forced us to kind of get away from Maryland because the number was so high. They were lesser here in North Carolina. And I was here. I came down and spent time with the family, and I started cycling. Of course, I love the cycling thing, but I started seeing a lot of guys cycling, not like in Maryland, but somewhat to that degree. And we did our first event in Maryland. It was based on because we saw a lot of men engaging things, particularly around cycling.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I had read this article that talked about prostate cancer. I talked about cycling.
Right.
And it said that African-American men around the ages of 45 to 60 were the populations that were engaging more in the cycling thing. And I said, wow, that's pretty much the age group that prostate cancer would kind of show its head.
Right.
If you're diagnosed with it. So
right.
I said, hey, look, why not just kind of engage? Let's kind of take something to the people since we can't get them to come to us. Let's engage something where we know that there's a population of men, African-American men that are engaged in the cycling, and let's kind of engage it around what they like doing.
Right.
Let's engage education and prostate cancer screening. So that kind of was our first thing that we did, our first event we did in 2019. COVID came on board, then we came here in 2020. And we just wanted to engage in the community doing some of the similar work. Yeah, and so that's how it all came about.
Yeah, but you have an event coming up on June the 28th.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So June 28th will be our sixth event that we'll be hosting here in Rocky Mount. We're going to be hosting it at Thorns Chapel, United Missionary Church, Thorns Chapel Missionary Baptist Church. Let me get that correct. I'll be there at 1624 Windsor Drive. Over in the Edgecombe County area.
Rocky Mount NC.
Yeah, Rocky Mount NC, yeah. And it's going to be an awesome time. OIC is going to be supporting us. We're going to have a mobile unit there because you guys were talking about screening.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a mobile unit there that the public can come out and get screened.
Right.
For free, of course.
So they don't have to cycle. They can still come out and get the...
Yeah. You can come out. So we're going to have a cycling event, we'll have a walking event, and a running event. You don't have to do either. You can come out and you get the free screen. Men can come out and get the free screen.
So I don't have to get on a bike. I can just come out. So
You don't have to get on a bike, although you'll probably be on your bike 20 miles out.
I'm just going to come out and get the screen.
You can just carry it out and get the screening. Of course, it's free. OIC has been supporting us over the last 6 years with that, and they do a great job at that. So we'll be over there on the church grounds, free screenings, pre-SC screenings, and won't cost you a dime. And so we're looking forward to having the public come out and engage in that. But the Prostate Ride has been an awesome event for us down here, and we're looking forward to continuing that. We're excited about working with the church this year, hosting the ride, and it's going to be an awesome event. Awesome event.
Yeah, that's going to be, once again, the Prostate Health cycling event on June 28th here in the city of Rocky Mount, NC. Listen, you still have time to register. It's going to be a great event. I think I've gone the last 3 events, and it's certainly a great time of fellowship. The food, still going to have some of that great turkey barbecue this week.
Man, absolutely.
I mean, this,
Butterball, listen, Butterball is one of our sponsors, man, and my brother out there in your in your area, neighborhood, in the area, he's going to make up the turkey barbecue, and my niece is going to be on board with preparing some other items, and the food is going to be great. Going to try to keep it as healthy as possible, okay, as greaseless as possible, but yeah, it's going to be an awesome opportunity, and so, but we're going to have walking and running as well, you know, so so you won't have to. It's not all about necessarily cycling, but we have walking for prostate cancer. We have running for prostate cancer. The walking is going to be inside of the church, so we won't have to be exposed to the heat.
That's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to having more of the community come out and to engage, you know, in that and those events. We're going to have UNC Health out there. They're going to be providing information relative to healthcare and that kind of thing. And we've got about, of course, you know, we got a 20-miler. You know, 40-miler. I know these small numbers.
How about a 3? You have a 3-miler?
No, we got a 1K to 5K walking and running. But we have a 20-miler, a 40, 60, and 75-miler, which are going to be fully supported. We have 5 rest stops. We're going to be engaging all of the 5 fire stations in the county. The Sheriff Atkinson has been always been one of our biggest supporters. Yeah, and he's going to have the sheriff deputies out on each route.
Edgecombe County is going to be on point. I can tell you that. Edgecombe County sheriffs. Yeah. They're going to be on point. I can tell you that now.
Please be mindful of the rules of the road. Because they definitely be on point. Yeah, they're all about safety.
Yes, sir.
Foremost.
Yes.
One thing that the Sheriff Atkinson he believes in folks. When you're cycling, he believes in you leaving together and you returning together. He's a safety buff, and anything that he sees out of line that's outside the lines of safety, you certainly hear a word or two from him. You know about that. And so we
need that. Yeah, because everybody that leaves, we want everybody to come back.
They come back. Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah. Safe. Yeah. So we operate. So we'll have SAG vehicles, and if you don't know what SAG vehicles are, supporting gear. These are the vehicles that will be supporting cyclists that may have mechanical issues with the bikes and whatnot, what have you. We'll pick them up, and we operate by 2-way radio. So I'll know. I'll be communicating with my SAG vehicles, so I'll know what's going on out there on the road at all times. Right. We do a numbering. We do the numbering system. We know who has what number. We'll keep in contact with whatever. So it's a pretty well organized.
Yeah, it's very organized. Yeah. I've gone to several cycling events, but I think your event, in terms of the security, even with the roads, with the Edgecombe County, you know, the deputies, it's just, for me, that's probably one of the best in terms of the support. Yeah. It's a great event.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. We put a lot of work into it. I have a executive director, man. She's second to none, and she's always on her toes, man, about making sure everything is covered, you know. And you know, we just kind of we've just grown to have a high expectancy for what we do, and that's why we offer that. Yeah.
But once again, you know, June 28th, also walkers, runners. I mean, you can come out. Maybe you say, "Well, I haven't been getting in the movement in. Now's a good time to come out and just walk around a little bit. You know, just you don't have to go far. Just get some movement in on that day and come out and support the prostate health educational piece that's focusing in on prostate cancer. Listen, anything else you want to share tonight, sir?
Well, I just want to piggyback off what you guys talked about earlier relative to House Bill 128. Also, we would love for folks to come on out on the 28th and engage, the prostate cancer event, be a part of that. We're just trying to bring this message of education to the community. It's important. You know me, Matt. I'm huge on educating, man. I'm always telling you, our brothers, they perish for lack of knowledge. And so we have educational signs out in the road. We talk a little bit about educating you as you ride about prostate cancer. But the one thing that I want to leave here is what you and Victor has already kind of impressed upon, and that is education is key.
Right.
Education is key. It's one thing to go to the doctor and he share information with you, but it's another thing for you to take the initiative,
Right.
and to educate yourself about this prostate cancer. Because if you get it, it ain't going nowhere. Well, it could possibly go somewhere. It could metastasize. It could spread. That's the things that we don't want to do. That's why screening is so essential.
Right.
But hey, man, thank you for just allowing us to
But
come
if you
on
do
board.
nothing,
Yeah.
I mean, that's with pretty much anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you just don't do anything. And
I always say this, because early screening, first and foremost, is our greatest defense against this, right? The earlier you get screened, and I think Victor said something to this earlier, the earlier you get screened, the likelihood of survival is 99%, 98, 99%. But when you're not getting yourself screened, you kind of take yourself off that field of play.
so those numbers go down.
Absolutely, yeah. Imagine this: if you're getting screened, and your chances are as far as from this wall to that wall in terms of treatment. But if you're not getting screened and those windows close, as those windows closes, then your survival numbers become less and less and less.
Yeah.
And to the degree, sometimes if a man is diagnosed, man, they have to treat it more aggressively, and that's an ugly sight, man. And so we advocate getting screened early, man. And listen, even if you're not within those age groups that the national guidelines say you should be getting screened, it's never too early for you to be educated.
Right.
It's in particular as it relates to African American men,
Right.
since we have such high incidences of mortality of prostate cancer. We should always be having that conversation, and that's why I'm just so huge, and I'm just so thankful for what you're doing in terms of opening your doors and making this a part of the consistent conversation.
Right.
Because it should be.
Right.
It should
Exactly.
be. Men are diagnosed daily. Men are diagnosed every day with prostate cancer.
Right.
And so therefore the conversation should be more frequent.
Right.
And I also want to put out there, that we shouldn't be afraid of clinical trials.
Right.
We should be engaging in clinical trials.
Right.
Most trials that are out there doesn't have us in the best interest.
Right.
Because we don't participate.
Right.
For some people,
Why do you think that we don't? Is it because we're not invited to the table, or what do you think?
I don't think it's because we're not invited to the table. I think on a large part we have trust issues.
Gotcha.
We are uncomfortable sometimes with people who don't look like us.
Gotcha.
I think that we have fear of the unknown.
Yep.
And then some just don't want to know.
Right.
But clinical trials kind of gives us an opportunity to participate in something that can be developed specifically for us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of medications out there, because we don't participate in trials, and so a lot of researchers, they go with what they have. And so a lot of things out there are created, not necessarily for us, but they're created, and we kind of have to deal with what's there.
Right. Right.
But on the other hand, clinical trials is a form of healthcare.
Right.
For some.
Right.
And I think Victor
And
said
some folk are still alive because of that.
Absolutely. And Victor shared earlier about low to no healthcare. Well, clinical trials is a form of healthcare, and so once again, I mean, what you're doing here is just awesome, and we need to kind of engage more of this, and we need to kind of maintain that boots on the ground mentality.
Yeah.
Because our brothers that are further east of us, they're struggling, man.
Yeah,
You know, and I've gone and I've done some presentations in some areas, man, and these guys, not only do they not have transportation to see urologists, but,
Right.
you know, the closest urologist could be 50, 60 miles away.
Right.
You know, and so this House bill that he's talking about is monumental.
Yeah.
And for a lot of men, you know. So we got to stay in the fight, man.
Yeah.
Gotta
Stay in the fight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this certainly has been a powerful conversation tonight. Much needed. This prostate stuff, you know, if we can get a hold of it early detection, talked about that. You know, we can get a handle on those things. We can have a long life and really enjoy life as well. You know, not just live, but you know, I'm not just trying to you know, survive. I'm not just a cancer survivor. I'm a thriver as well, right? Because we want to thrive in life as well. So this is great information tonight. Victor, man, I appreciate you coming all the way from New Bern. Just really appreciate you taking time tonight to come down and just really share about House Bill 128. I know you're very engaged in the community. Also, just trying getting information out and educating the men about prostate cancer. So I appreciate, man, the work that you're doing and the things that you're doing. You know, sometimes we oftentimes the mentality has been that, you know, if we're not in the physical wall of the church, that, you know, no, this is church right here. You know, we are the church. The word church in Greek means ecclesia, the called out ones. Yeah. We are the called out ones that's getting information out, right? Mm-hmm. This is the way that you advance God's kingdom. This is how Jesus did it, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So so I'm excited about what's happening. And then on next week, we're gonna have Brother Donnell Shaw will be here. He's going to really share some things. Get ready for next week because it's going to be very powerful. Yeah. A lot of men suffer with ED, erectile dysfunction, because of prostate cancer. And he's going to talk about that. He's going to talk about some other things as well. Yeah. So, you know, we have to have these conversations, right?
Now, no matter how difficult they may come across, we got to have them. Yeah. Because men are struggling with them, man. And you know, I was talking with a dear friend of mine. Actually, she's dear to me. She's on my board, actually. I don't want to put a name out there because she's going to be on your show anyway. But we were having an awesome conversation a few days ago about a patient of hers that is dealing with prostate cancer, and they're on a different kind of playing field. But we're still in kind of conversations about that yet. I just want to put that little small piece out there because it's just so interesting to me. But I'm not going to really get in detail with it, not as of yet. But I can tell you, it's going to be one heck of a conversation. Yeah, yeah. When it's all said and done, it's going to be a heck of a conversation. So I'm praying that, you know, your listeners are going to be available, and you're going to have these airways open and available, Matt, because it's going to be powerful, man. They're going to they are already open, so we're going to make it happen. Whatever we can do to get the word out there. I'm excited about this. You know, I want to share this real quick, and then we'll be done for tonight. But you know, I've been pastoring for 23 years, right? Mm-hmm. And when the Lord started dealing with me about making the transition, it was very difficult because I knew it would look different, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were saying that's not God because, you know, no, that's not God, and so forth and so on, right? But I would say to anyone that's listening tonight, when God speaks to you about vision, no matter, you can't follow the crowd and the noise. You have to follow the voice of God. Yeah. And if we're going to preach God is doing a new thing, then we can't continue to do the old thing, right? So we always preach, oh, man, God is doing a new thing, right? But we continue the old thing. And when God gets ready to shift and move us into the new thing, I can tell this is God because, man, I have so much passion for it, right? A lot more passion than I did going in the pulpit on Sundays. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that, right? Everybody have their, but sometimes this is still part of my assignment in the earth. Yeah. And I was just really excited about what God is doing and how he's moving and revealing himself and showing himself. So, man, I appreciate you again, Mr. William Battle, and just thank you and
for all that you do in the community,
Thank you, man.
communities, and you're all over the place, man. I may call
okay.
you. You may be in L.A. somewhere. There's no telling where you're gonna be at. But I'll leave a message, and eventually you'll call me back.
Call you back.
What, man? What are you doing in Detroit? You were just in D.C. yesterday. But keep up the good work, brother.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing your thing, man. God is well pleased with that, and just thank you again, Victor. Listen, our time is up for tonight, but thank you again for tuning in to the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. Listen, if you're able to share it, I was having problems with my Facebook. I couldn't get it to go to the public, but we're going to fix it as soon as I get off. But you can go over to YouTube as well. Subscribe to the ML Tillery Outreach channel over on YouTube. I would greatly appreciate it. Listen, next week is going to be powerful. We're going to deal with this the rest of the month. We have, 2 more Monday nights, I believe. Is it 2 more? Yeah. 2 more. And we have 2 more guests coming on. You don't want to miss the next 2 Monday nights. We're going to continue to deal with this conversation. We just don't really have the time to really dive too much into it. But we're going to we're going to keep cutting it bit by bit, piece by piece, right? Listen, once again, I'm Matt Tillery. I thank you again. Go ahead and hit the share button. If you're on Facebook, I would greatly appreciate it. Listen, until next Monday night at 7 p.m., go and advance the kingdom.
We pray you have been empowered and blessed by this teaching. Join us next week for the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. If you would like to reach us, email us at mltillery@icloud.com.